Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja, and I am so excited. We are making bhaturas today. Yay!
There's so many different ways to make bhatura. That's why today we're doing an experiment. So we have experiment A.
And experiment B, Anuja. Experiment Anuja. Yoo-hoo!
So I'm starting my experiment using yeast because that is a big component of bhatura. So in my bowl I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour or maida, and it has been sifted just to kind of aerate the whole thing. And to our maida or all-purpose flour we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we'll mix it. And 1 teaspoon of oil. Now I'm going to mix it really well to make sure it all gets incorporated well into the flour.
So while Hital's doing that, over here I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour or maida, again in my little sifter, cute little thing. And to this I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda in place of the yeast, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put it again in the sifter itself, and I'm going to sift it.
So the oil is completely inside that flour. Now I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of yeast, mix, and we have a 1/4 cup of yogurt. Now you can use any yogurt you want, but make sure you get the thickish part of the yogurt, not the real runny, watery part. And I'm going to mix this while adding, now this is only going to take about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of very warm water because we want to get that yogurt, really cold yogurt, to warm up a little bit, so it'll help the yeast. But do it very carefully because too much water and you can't take it back. So here we go, little at a time. And we're going to knead it into a soft dough. So we use about 2 tablespoons and just like a teaspoon over, but it's going to matter the quality of your yogurt, how thick it was, how thin it was, but approximately 2 tablespoons, so give or take just a dash here and there. And I'm going to keep kneading this for about 3 or 4 minutes while you can take over.
Thank you. Here, as you know, I've already sifted the baking soda and the salt and the maida or the flour, and I'm going to mix it. 1 teaspoon of oil, half teaspoon sugar, 1/4 cup yogurt, and water, warm water. And again add a little at a time and knead.
Now I've just drizzled a couple of drops of oil over my dough. It's finished kneading, and that's just so a dry skin doesn't form on it while it's resting.
Again, to catch up with Hital, I'm going to knead this for at least about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay, I'm caught up with Hital now, and it's all kneaded. I've again drizzled a little bit of oil on top, just a few drops, just so that it doesn't form a coating. And to this on top, now we've just got a paper towel. We've put it under water and just squeezed it out. And we're just going to cover it and allow it to sit in like a controlled environment temperature, basically like an oven, for an hour. So both of them go in. Let's see who wins.
We'll be back.
So it's been 1 hour and our experiments are out of the oven. That's where we had kept it. And this is experiment Hital. This is the one with the yeast. So it has risen a little bit, and actually looks wonderful. It's still soft.
I'm going to oil my hand just a little bit so it doesn't stick, just lightly. And I'm going to give it 1 knead.
And over here, I started heating up the oil already.
So our 1 cup will make about 4 to 5 good-sized bhaturas. So I've pulled off 1 section and I'm going to roll it into a nice smooth ball. I just took a few drops of oil, put it on my rolling surface and spread it out. This is going to help prevent this dough from sticking. And I'm just going to roll this out.
Then you want to start doing that only after your oil is heated up.
So one of the characteristics of using all-purpose flour or maida is that it's very, very elastic. So no matter how much you roll it, it's going to pull back in and become really small. So you want to make your bhatura a good, bigger size than you really need it, because when we pick this up off the ground, off the surface, it's going to squeeze back in. And we're going to gently drop this in from the side.
Yeah. And flip it, and this is like a perfect color. You just want very, very few spots of golden, and just another maximum a minute on this side, and it's done. Pull it out and put it on a paper towel. So this is experiment 1.
Here is experiment 2. Once again, I'm going to knead it. And right off the bat, the first difference that I'm seeing already is the dough is soft, but it's not as porous as the one with the yeast.
Right.
But it is still pretty soft.
Right. And of course it has not risen like the one with the yeast.
I'm going to make a nice smooth ball and slightly oil my surface. And roll this one out.
You can do it, and we can help. Look at that. Excellent. Flip it. And take it out.
So now comes the fun part. We have our 2 experiments. This is experiment Anuja,
Absolutely.
made with baking soda
And no yeast?
No yeast. This is experiment Hetal, made with yeast. So they look pretty much the same. They puffed equally, nicely. Let's give it a taste test.
Absolutely.
We'll know.
This is literally, comparing apples to apples. In this case, bhaturas to bhaturas. That's the only way to tell. Oh, it's so nice and spongy. Look at that. Beautiful.
That's very good.
Okay.
You don't miss the yeast. Excellent. Okay, here goes the yeast. There's a slight difference.
So what's your verdict, Hetal, once you finish eating? Go ahead. I got all the time in the world.
I like mine.
You do?
Yeah.
I think she's just being biased because I like mine, and I'm not being biased. I honestly.
They're both really nice.
Yes.
We're just joking here, but it's fantastic. We have 2 completely different ingredients, and the end product are just both very, very nice. So now, there are people who don't eat yeast out there and feel left out sometimes because they don't get the right texture and, right rising and whatnot.
Right. And actually, if you don't have yeast, if you're not one of those people who keeps yeast at home all the time, and even for them, I think it's a great option. I like Hetal's also. I have to say it because, but no, honestly, they both are really good.
They're one of those things where if you had given just this to somebody, it would have been fantastic. If you had given this to somebody, and without any kind of comparison, they're excellent on their own. Experiment, see which one you like better. You'll be surprised. And join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.